Imagine this. You're at your best friend's wedding, the music's perfect, the champagne is flowing, and your wife is looking absolutely stunning beside you. It's one of those nights that feels like it should be frozen in time. But then, you open the wrong door, and everything changes. Most people would have exploded right there in the moment. I didn't. I smiled, walked away, and then made her regret it for the rest of her life. If you've ever dreamed of serving pure, ice-cold justice to someone who wronged you, hit that like button, subscribe, and settle in. Because this isn't just a cheating story. It's about keeping your dignity, walking away, and making sure they never forget the day they lost you. The morning of the wedding felt like something out of a magazine shoot. The sunlight filtered in through the curtains, and the smell of fresh coffee filled our kitchen. Sarah was already up, hair in curlers, sipping her latte while humming along to a song I didn't know. "You're in a good mood," I said, leaning against the counter. She grinned. "Of course I am. It's Matt's wedding. And it's going to be perfect." Matt had been my best friend since college, through study sessions, late-night pizzas, and the kind of stupid adventures you only have when you're 20. He was more like a brother than a friend. Seeing him finally settle down was a big deal. Sarah had been excited for weeks. She'd bought a navy blue cocktail dress that hugged her curves perfectly. New heels, she said, made her legs look a mile long, and a new perfume that, in her words, just felt like the perfect wedding scent. She kept mentioning how nice it would be to catch up with some old faces. One of those old faces was Adam. Adam, her ex. We'd crossed paths once before, years ago. He was charming, but in that overconfident, smarmy way that made you wonder how many mirrors he had in his house. He gave me a handshake that lingered too long, with a smirk that felt more like a challenge than a greeting. Sarah had always told me, "We're just friends now. It's ancient history. You have nothing to worry about." And like an idiot, I believed her. The ceremony was beautiful. Matt and his bride looked like they'd stepped out of a fairy tale. When they kissed, the entire crowd erupted in applause. Sarah squeezed my hand, her smile bright and warm. The reception hall was breathtaking. High ceilings, crystal chandeliers, and tables adorned with roses and candles. The DJ played a mix of romantic classics and upbeat hits, and the scent of the roast beef dinner drifted through the air. We were seated at a long banquet table near the dance floor. I remember thinking how perfect the night felt. Then the first toast happened. Glasses clinked, laughter echoed, and Sarah leaned over to whisper, "I'm just going to say hi to some people, okay?" I nodded. "Sure, don't get lost." I didn't think much of it, at first. An hour passed. I mingled, chatted with a few college friends, danced once or twice, and had another drink. But Sarah still hadn't come back to the table. I told myself she was probably catching up with girlfriends. But a quiet, uneasy feeling had started gnawing at the back of my mind. It was when I went to grab another drink that I saw it. Near the coat room, a door was cracked open. I heard muffled voices, low, intimate. Then a laugh. Her laugh. I took a step closer, just enough to see inside. There they were. Sarah, Adam, pressed against each other like they were afraid to let go. His hands gripped her waist. Her dress was bunched high, and their mouths, God, their mouths were locked in a kiss that had nothing to do with just friends. Time slowed. My ears rang. My chest tightened. For a moment, I forgot how to breathe. It felt like watching a car crash you couldn't stop. Most people would have burst in, shouted, made a scene. But here's the thing. Public scenes burn out quickly. Everyone forgets eventually. But quiet, calculated revenge, that's forever. I stepped back, smoothed my jacket, took a deep breath. Then I walked right back into the reception, smiling politely at guests as if nothing had happened. At the table, I gathered my wallet, my phone, my keys. I leaned to the guy next to me and whispered, "Not feeling great? Heading out early?" And I left. Instead of going home, I checked into a hotel across town. I turned off my phone. No explanations, no messages, just silence. By 2 a.m., my phone was lit up with dozens of missed calls and texts, some frantic, some pleading. I didn't answer a single one. I slept better than I had in months. The next morning, I contacted a divorce lawyer. Sarah had never worked a day during our marriage. I paid for the apartment, the bills, her shopping sprees, her salon visits. She'd once joked, "I could never survive without your income." Turns out, she was right. First, I froze our joint accounts. She woke up to declined cards. Then I removed her from the lease. It was in my name. Within a week, her belongings were in storage. The locks were changed, and she was cut off from the life she'd gotten so comfortable in. Adam didn't last. Once he realized she came with financial baggage, he bailed. Sarah moved back in with her parents. She took a part-time job at a cafe, the glamorous, carefree life she loved. Gone overnight. Mutual friends told me she'd been telling people she made a huge mistake, that she missed me. I didn't respond. These days I travel. I meet new people. I live life on my terms. And every now and then, when I think about that wedding night, I smile. Because that was the night I didn't just lose a wife. I lost dead weight. Sometimes the best revenge isn't shouting, screaming, or fighting. Sometimes it's walking away and letting them destroy themselves. I didn't humiliate her in public. I didn't have to. She did it all on her own. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what is the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.